Now you're watching Ramping Up Your English. This is segment 3 of episode 77. Your conversation group can also function as a book club where members read a part of a book each week and then talk about it when the group meets. This book from DK Publishers is entitled Night Creatures, and it's there it is. It's a helpful level for intermediate English readers. There are great illustrations for those barely above the beginning level, plus complex sentence structure for those at the higher levels of reading proficiency. A book like this would add a great amount of vocabulary to the reader and stretch those language skills in terms of syntax. Not to be confused with Night Creatures, Creatures of the Night is a scholastic book and part of their I Can Read series. You can see the bat on the cover, one of the many nocturnal animals featured inside. There's plenty to talk about when talking about those looking at bats. Why are bats considered mammals instead of birds? How do they locate their prey in the dark? Where do bats spend the daylight hours? What do bats eat? There are plenty of facts and illustrations. You may find your group talking about owls. It's a real hoot to learn about owls. Some people find the owl's huge eyes unnerving. What do owls eat? How do we know what they eat when they hunt at night? Where do they spend their daylight hours? How do you hunt in the dark? Well, this book has great illustrations and language that's simple yet advanced enough to get readers beyond the beginning level. So along with pictures, nonfiction books can serve as a great conversation starter. When all group members have read the same book, there can be a large number of questions and observations, including personal experiences around the subject matter of the book. Your local library or school district may be able to provide sets of the same book so that everyone is, as we say in English, on the same page. Now, storybooks can also be a great resource for book clubs and conversation groups. Here's a work of fiction entitled Rascal. It's about a boy who befriends a raccoon. In the education world, we call this a chapter book. Each chapter in this book is a date with the chapters covering a year's worth of time. I won't do any spoiler here. Fiction will be different from nonfiction in that fiction has a plot, a series of actions and occurrences that lead to the resolution of a problem. In other words, it's a story from the writer's imagination. I'll have more information on these books, including the authors, illustrators, and ISBNs on my website, letscreate.org. That information will be on the episode 77 page and should be helpful in finding these books at your public library or bookstore. None of them are new publications, so you might find them at a used bookstore or even at a Goodwill store. Now, one topic about animals that's always intrigued me is the abundance of sea life in freezing cold water. In the waters near Antarctica, there's very little above the water level to indicate any life of any kind. All the ice there seems to reflect death, not life. So you kind of look at this picture and you don't really think of what's below the surface. It just looks like very dead up there. Now, when we look at the next image, what we're going to see is that's not to say the area lacks interest. Glaciers and icebergs are common at these latitudes. Glaciers and ice packs breaking up because of climate change are common here. Okay, we need to look at the next image and I'll show you what I mean. What we're going to see is the image before this one. That's a research vessel that's out, and we have a lot of research vessels. What I'm looking for to show you as we stop the teleprompter is that this is the big chunk of ice I was talking about. And as we go closer in on the chunk of ice, what you're going to see are the layers of the ice that get compressed down. Now, so far this has all looked very white, but as you get in close, you can see the blue layers as they go across. That's what I was talking about. Now, as I said, scientific expeditions ply these waters, studying the cold environment. And so now we're going to go to this one. They find that life is teeming below the cold water surface. Masses of creatures like krill that attract enormous marine mammals, such as whale and whale sharks. The blue is the ice, excuse me. I had my mind on blue because of those layers. The ice is a critical component of this ocean ecosystem. Now, I'll wait until we get to the next one. So this is what we were talking about then. Now I need the next video clip to show you. Okay, so this delicate sunrise reminds us of that delicate balance that supports life on the planet, including our own lives. We know that the clock is ticking for people to take protective action. A frequently asked question is this: how do I get to know the English names of animals? Well, that's the right question to ask if you're talking about animals. Now, some people in your conversation group may know, but it would be good to know the names of some wild animals. We really push for knowing the English words for domesticated animals. Here are a few hints for learning animal names. Now, this picture dictionary has the picture of many things, including animals. So you could browse through and find pictures, then see the English word that goes with the entry. So that would be one way of finding that out. Now, a bilingual dictionary, like the one you're about to see, has words by groups. It's pretty basic, but it's a very good starting point. So we're rolling here. We're going to look at the inside. This is the 2-page spread that shows a few animals. If you don't already know these, it's a good place to begin. A bilingual dictionary can help you know the word for an animal in your own language, then look it up to find the English word, and then put both words on an index card. When you're between tasks, pull out the index card and review it. Now, those are some of the ways I learned Spanish words for some animals when I was studying Spanish. A really fun way for some animals to use is a tracking guide. Now, this animal tracking guide is published by Waterford Press. You can find them at nature shops and outdoor stores. Along with the tracks of the animals, the ones that they leave, let's see, we have to wait for the image. There we go. Along with the tracks the animals leave, you can get to see the name of these animals along with its picture. If you spend time outdoors, you can look for tracks like these while using this guide. Along with tracks and basic pictures, the guide gives you details about the animal's size and weight, plus details about the body parts and the impressions visible in the tracks. Now, if you know some English animal names but have more to learn, like I do in Spanish, you can play the memory game. This is a pretty deluxe set I've used as a teacher. It's North American Wildlife 100-piece memory card set from Impact Photography, or actually Photographics. We've used this kind of game before. There are 2 cards for each animal. The cards are placed in separate groups, and each group is mixed up. Players try to match the same card from each group. Let's watch these kids play the game. So there seems to always be fun ways to learn a language. Now, I would love to hear from you and see how you're progressing with this program, Ramping Up Your English. Send an email to letscreatepro@gmail.com and visit my website as well. The website is letscreate.org for all the support materials for this episode. All you have to do is navigate to the episode 77 page. Now you can watch and even download all episodes of Ramping Up Your English at archive.org/details/roadtv. Use the search box by entering Ramping Up Your English. You'll find all the episodes there. Now, Ramping Up Your English can be seen in Ashland on channel 15 or 115 or 105 on the Ashland Home Network, and in the rest of Southern Oregon on cable channel 182. Showtimes are 8 a.m. on Mondays and 7:30 p.m. on Thursdays. Visit rvtv.sou.edu for free live streaming. Now, showtimes will vary in different areas of the country. Check your local public access and education stations. I want to thank my director, Denise Ross, and my talented and dedicated crew. And I want to thank you, our viewers. All of you helped make this program an award winner. Join us next time for Ramping Up Your English. I'm John Letts.
You've been watching Ramping Up Your English, a support program for intermediate level English language learners. Learn more. Visit our website at letscreate.org. You can also watch or download today's program at archive.org/details/roadtv. Join us next time on RVTV Voices for Ramping Up Your English.